Hi there, this is Textile Techniques week 4, and tonight we are going to be looking at fabric manipulation. So tonight what we're asking you to do is to take some fabric that you have here, your sort of base fabric for your calico, and what we're asking you to do is to alter and change that appearance. So that's basically what fabric manipulation is. It's about taking your base fabric and changing the appearance of it by that, the texture and the feel of it, and that can be done by using and manipulating different fabrics and different textures that you might have and sort of creating a new base fabric, if you like. So a quick example of what I've got here. This is obviously your A5 square that you will have cut out for tonight's class. And what we're asking you to do is to create a fabric manipulation with the use of rectangular pieces of fabric. So what I've done here is I've taken rectangular strips and I've just sort of folded down and stitched down on top of my A5 fabric to sort of change and give that fabric a little bit more texture. So I've done things here like freeing the edges of the rectangular pieces of fabric that I've cut out. I've folded them to create the sort of nice pleats and then stitched them down with little kind of running stitches. So when we say rectangles, what we're kind of meaning is, so you've got your base fabric here. So that's how you'll start out tonight's class. And then what we're asking you to do is to look at cut out sort of different rectangles using different types of fabrics. Now you can use the same calico fabric if that's all you have at home, but what I've done here is I've picked 2 other fabrics, and the key here is to sort of keep them plain, so nothing with florals or patterns. You want to keep your fabric plain, and these are just 2 that I have just at home. And what I've done to create a sort of pattern that we can make on our fabrics is I've taken little bits of paper and cut shapes out that I quite like, and then what I've done is with those shapes I've then used those as little pattern pieces to then create little rectangles cut out in my other 2 contrasting fabrics. And the aim here is to sort of create a new pattern, if you like, and create a new base fabric with your squares, your rectangles that you've cut out. So you can have these as thin or as large as you like. It's just as long as what you're doing is you're creating a repeat pattern on your A5 fabric. So I'm going to be showing you just a couple of examples. So like the one that I showed you before, obviously we have this one here where I've just taken strips of fabric and just folded them down and sort of stitched them down. But then I've also got this one here where I've taken my two contrasting fabrics and I've cut them out and then just placed them onto the fabric and then stitched them down to sort of create a repeat pattern, and that kind of alters and changes the look of that fabric. And that's basically what we're asking you to do. So what I've done in this video as well, as you'll see in a wee second, is I'm showing you some examples of what fabric manipulation is and how that can be used in the industry. And you can see in those images that I've shown you how you can take different contrasting fabrics, layering those up to give your fabric a new lease of life, if you like. So for tonight's class, if you have a contrast fabric, or you can use your base calico fabric like I've done here. And then what I want you to do is just get some rectangles, sort of play about with your shapes and see what kind of patterns and what kind of repeat patterns you can create on your A5 fabric and stitch those down. Now you can stitch those down in any way that you want. You can you do your running stitch, your back stitch that you've learned in your previous weeks. You could do your chain stitch as well, or your cross stitch. How you attach your little rectangles is completely up to you. So I might decide that I want to sort of place that here and maybe place this one somewhere here, and then you would just repeat that all the way down, kind of similar to what I've done here as well. And then with this one's a little bit more abstract, but you can see I've repeated my folding of the fabric and kind of created a sort of repeat pattern throughout this piece of fabric here, and that's basically what we want you to do tonight. So this is sort of week 4 of fabric manipulation.